So do y'all remember Kim Davis? She was the clerk that refused to give a marriage license to gay people. Well, she's back. Yeah, she's back because that's the type of person that Donald Trump opens the door up to. I've said so many times here on the channel that John McCain took the microphone away from the conspiracy theorists and away from the hateful assholes, and Donald Trump gave it to him and turned it up on 10. And so someone like Kim Davis should have just been a forgotten footnote in the stains of American history, but instead, here she is back. And I can't believe that I'm actually reading this article to you out loud, but folks, we're just going to dive right in there. This one comes to us from The Independent. So the Supreme Court is asked to hear a case that could upend same-sex marriage and absolve Kentucky clerk who refused to issue the license. So yeah, folks, she's back. The former county clerk says that she should have been protected by the First Amendment, and that landmark 2015 ruling establishing same-sex marriage was wrongly decided. Yeah, and she's back now to tell us, like, she's back to get on some sort of moral high ground. This is such bullshit. So a former county clerk in Kentucky who was briefly jailed for refusing to issue same-sex marriage license on religious grounds is asking the Supreme Court to consider her appeal, arguing in part that the High Court's landmark 2015 decision recognizing gay marriage rights was wrongly decided. Kim Davis, who served as the Rowan County clerk until 2018, appealed the Supreme Court late last month. Challenging lower federal court rulings that she was on the hook for $100,000 in damages and $260,000 in attorney fees in a legal battle with one of the couples whose marriage she declined to certify. If there ever was a case of exceptional importance, the first individual in the Republic's history who was jailed for following her religious convictions regarding the historic definition of marriage, this should be it. The couple who sued Davis, and here she is, for those of you that, I mean, you can just, I'm not trying to be judgmental, but yeah. The couple sued Davis, David Ermold and David Moore, argued the High Court should decline to hear her case. Not a single judge on the U.S. Court of Appeals should have any interest in Davis's rehearing petition, and we are confident the Supreme Court will likewise agree that Davis's arguments do not merit further attention. So in her appeal, Davis, supported by the religious advocacy group Liberty Council, argued that the First Amendment's free exercise protection should shield her from liability, and that the court's 2015 same-sex marriage decision is based on legal fiction, she says. The 2015 decision, combined with a proclamation shortly after then-Governor Steve Beshear to recognize same-sex marriages, left Davis as a defenseless constitutional orphan, per her appeal, who stands before the court solely as an individual stripped of government immunity, a consequence that began with the court's opinion. So the appeal, which quotes heavily from two current justices who dissented to the gay marriage ruling at the time, Clarence Thomas and John Roberts, also asked the High Court to go after an even deeper set of legal standards, such as due process. Under this concept, courts have found that the due process protections of the Fifth and 14th Amendment create rights not explicitly mentioned in the Constitution to privacy, interracial marriage, same-sex marriage, and until 2022 decision overturning Roe v. Wade, abortion. Though more than two-thirds of Americans support same-sex marriage, the appeal comes at a time when conservative groups and states are trying to roll them back. And as of this year, at least 9 states have legislation aiming to block new licenses for gay marriage, or resolutions urging the Supreme Court to overturn the 2015 ruling. Folks, these extremists are not going away. I said this all along. They're not going away. So many videos that I've done here on the channel have been about how they're doubling down, and when they see Trump with no immunity, well, they're going to want it too. In June, the Southern Baptist Convention, oh boy, the nation's largest Protestant Christian denomination, voted to make overturning the ruling a top priority. Yeah, it's top priority to these bigots. If the Supreme Court decides to hear Davis's case and was to overturn the marriage law, it would revert back to the states. Both states and federal government would still be required to recognize marriages from states where gay marriage is legal under the 2022 Respect for Marriage Act. So yeah, folks, the bigot has returned. She's back, and now she feels entitled to be heard. Because think about it. Look at it from these people's point of view. And I really hate for us to have to get in their minds and walk around just for a minute. But I'm sure in their minds they look over and they see Trump get immunity, and they see Trump just running wild with all this radical right-wing bullshit. And then they feel entitled to come out and say, hey, what about me? I mean, look at all the people that we've seen him pardon. Look at all the criminals that we've seen him let right back out on the streets and then turn around and do it again. He pardoned all of the January 6th insurrectionists, and we're always going to call them insurrectionists because that's exactly what they fucking were. He pardoned every one of them, gave every one of them a pass, and we've seen so many people pardoned. And now we have a child sex trafficker who they're considered, it's actually being talked about. It's a conversation we're having. And again, I say this is not normal times. To the people that says, well, these kind of things happen, not with the President of the United States. But I said so many times going into this election, I tried to drive this point home. I said, folks, we got a lot of work to do. It's going to be a revenge presidency. They're going to come after us. Well, it's not just Donald Trump that wanted revenge. All these people wanted revenge too. All these people that feels like they were wronged. They want revenge too. The Kim Davises of the world, she wants revenge too. She was a bigot who refused to do her job. And I keep a copy of the Constitution on my desk. I keep one laying here. I've read it and studied it more just since Donald Trump's been around than I ever have. But let's just go right here to the First Amendment, Congress, and I had it bookmarked. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibit the free exercise thereof. So guess what, Kim Davis? We don't recognize your religion. We're not going to recognize an establishment thereof. You're free to be a bigot, but when you take a job working for the government, you have to play by those rules. And if you don't want to render unto Caesar what is Caesar's, then go somewhere else. I've already had this argument. I've already played this hit. This is like the worst fucking cover song that someone just keeps coming back up and requesting for the 15th time. It's like we're tired of playing it. These people should have just been forgotten a long time ago. When John McCain pulled the microphone away from her, it should have stopped right then and there. When he took the microphone out of that woman's hand that said, Barack Obama's a Muslim and I'm scared, right then and there, not only should he have pulled the microphone away, he should have cut off the PA system. Don't entertain these people. Don't prop them up. But Donald Trump does, and now we're in for it because they all want revenge. And they all feel like that they're being, downtrodden. They feel like they're the ones that are being persecuted. They feel like they're the ones that are victims of the weaponization of the government. It's bullshit. They weaponized the government. She was trying to weaponize the government against people she didn't like. She was trying to refuse them the rights that she had and doesn't even see it. I thought when she faded away, that was the end of it. Sarah Palin's due for a comeback any minute. I mean, she's got to be, ain't she? And what was that one woman's name? Michelle Bachmann? Was that it that they made fun of on Saturday Night Live? I'm sure she's looking for a comeback somewhere. And it's like the pro wrestler that has the comeback one too many times. You're like, damn it, sit down, Tommy Rich. Jeez, enough's enough, buddy. You had that one moment in the sun when you upset Harley Race. Now just forget about it. It's over. I love Wildfire Tommy Rich for all you wrestling fans, but damn, you know what I'm trying to say. I love the wildfire. But anyway, it's just insane that these people are coming back. But they're always going to come back, folks, because Donald Trump empowers them to do so. Bigots are making a comeback. Bigots are making a comeback, and bigots want revenge. And we have to stand up to them, and we have to shout them down. We cannot stay quiet on this. And we had forgot about Kim Davis before. We're going to have to put in even more harder work until people completely forgets her name. All she should be is just the section in the history book where we turn and tell our kids, hey, that's what you're not supposed to do.